Mike McCarthy joining us here on your home of America's team, 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, gentlemen.
Coach, we had a little incident today with Bobby. He missed the start of the show. He slept in. But he raced over here. He broke all the speeding limits just to get here and talk with you. When's the last time that you naturally just like overslept? Not late because you were in a meeting, but you woke up with a oh crap.
That's a good question. It's been a while, but but we have all had that memory in our past, probably in my younger days. I wish I could oversleep these days.
Is there such a thing as oversleeping when you're actually the boss, though, and you kind of run the meeting? You can't. It starts when you get there.
Well, I mean, that's you bring up a pretty good point, but we do have a schedule that does serve everybody. So,
last one on it. Do you set? I just tell these guys set 3 alarms, and they're like, "No, I just want to set 1." And then you end up with mornings like this. Do you set multiple alarms, and is it on your phone?
Yes, I do. I do the multiple on the phone. 4:30, 4:45, 5 o'clock. So
there you go. Learn something, Bobby.
I'm literally writing down notes as we're speaking.
Coach,
you sound like it, Bobby.
Yeah. Coach, Dan Quinn said you can go one of 2 ways. You can go ahead and bounce back, or you can have 2 losses. How did your team and locker room respond this week after Sunday night?
Well, I mean, we obviously took the extra day to spend more time in a corrective self-scout mode. I thought that was productive, and I can only tell you, based off of the numbers from yesterday, that the practice was one of the better Wednesdays of the year. So, we're having a good week so far.
Is that a dangerous week when you lose to a chief rival, a measuring stick kind of game, a team that's kind of had your number? Is that a dangerous week for a team where some guys, like, their mind wanders and stuff?
Well, the biggest challenge in this journey we're on is the emotional discipline. We all recognize that. It's something we're very cognizant of and speak on it and try to remain focused on everything we're involved in. But yeah, I personally think it's harder when you're winning 6, 7, 8 games in a row. But yeah, it's this is definitely an experience that we will learn from, and we won't be in that position again.
Coach, I know you just mentioned that you guys had a good day yesterday, but I know also one of the things that you had said to Brad Shan before the game was that you felt like you guys had one of your best practices leading into that game. Is that consistently indicative for you of how you guys are going to come out and perform? Is how those practices are? Or was that a one-off, or do you sometimes just say, hey, I can't really gauge how it's going to help us in the game depending on how the quality of the practices were during the week?
No, that's the beauty of this game. I can't tell you, and it's not the norm. The norm is usually you have a really good flow going into the week, and you get in there and compete and play at a high level. I mean, that's the norm. But yes, I've been a part of this league for a long time, and sometimes games go sideways on you. But yeah, I've been part of good weeks of practice that that Sunday wasn't as good, and I've been part of weeks where you feel like you're not getting it done as much, and you're pushing through in it, and you're cleaning up more things than others, and then you play very well too. So I mean, it's definitely not an exact science, but I can only go off of what I see, what I feel, and then it's nice in today's game. You do have some instruments to give you some numbers to confirm and compare.
Mike McCarthy here on 105.3 The Fan. Coach, we've been interviewing coaches like you and talking to Jerry Jones and hear football people long enough for me to believe everyone, and you've said this to us, everyone kind of runs the same stuff offensively. But you have your analysts. We're all professional play callers, right? You got your Orlovskis this week and your Sims and your Warners say, no, some of these Cowboy routes are antiquated and stale and predictable and old and all that stuff. Can you just address that storyline? Can you just address that thought that what you guys are doing offensively may need some updating, because it's a big topic. I know you don't follow that stuff, but it's a big topic that we wanted the fans to get an answer to.
Well, I mean, clearly, from the offensive perspective of scheme, the way we break them down, there's families. We have families in the passing game and the routes that obviously coincide with those families. So, and from that, you have variations, and and on top of it, then you have shifts in motions that can accommodate the pass game families. So I think it's just like anything. When you don't have production, everything is evaluated with some negativity, and when you do have production, I think it's sometimes you get more credit than it really deserves. But yeah, I'm very, very confident in the full menu of our pass game families, the route running principles, and the discipline. If anything, we've taken a big step in how we've moved this pass game forward. Now, that's me saying it based off of what we've done in the classroom and on the practice field, and I'm clearly in tune with the results that we've had. So, yeah, I 100% disagree with that analysis.
Thank you for that answer. Good explanation. I thought I had either heard you or Collinsworth say, well, the Cowboys, you got to give it time. We're early. They haven't even gotten to their 7-step installations yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, and if that's not accurate, is everything in, or this still is a progression throughout the year to put in everything you want?
Well, I think, I think everything's in. We got our families in as far as the pass game, and no different in the run game. So, but it's just, you don't run everything in every game. So, but yes, I think clearly with the interchanging parts we've had up front, we haven't thrown much, 7-step drop, so, and that's clearly even I'm not naive to the fact we haven't hit our stride on offense, but I like the way our guys are working, and it's just a matter of time, and I feel strongly that we're going to have a really good opportunity this week. This is a talented defense, so we'll have our O-line intact here for this second week, and looking forward to taking a step this week.
Coach, a lot of in with the analysts talking about getting certain guys the ball and where it goes, and it's obviously Dak's job to get the ball out to somebody. Football dumb question. I'm a football idiot.
That's my job usually every week.
What's that?
That's my job usually every week.
How does that work? Like, obviously, you set the progressions, but, like, it's the quarterback. He decides where to throw the ball. But, like, how does all that work? Because people will say, hey, just get this guy the ball. Just throw the ball downfield. Just do this, do that. But, I mean, there are parameters within the offense that have to be met. Like, again, football dumb. Like, kind of take us through that whole process.
Well, I mean, you're talking particularly in the pass game, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, every pass design has a progression for the quarterback. So obviously, the way you build that is based on a couple of components. Number one, your own players. The matchups, how you think they're going to play your perimeter, and then from that, you end up playing the game. And that's why you play the game. We're playing a multiple coverage team this week, so and they hold the coverage till the snap of the ball. So coverage recognition will be a big part of us attacking them. And so, but yeah, that's how you generate who gets the ball. And then there are certain plays where you can formation and get in a position where you're able to throw the ball to one specific player too. So I mean, you have to have both concept in your pass game.
I went back and looked at your time in Green Bay at the leading receiver each year because, I mean, Aaron could get the ball to anybody he wanted to basically on any play probably. And I thought you're going to have a ton of guys have 100-catch seasons, 90-catch seasons, and it was much lower. Is that by design of the offense to balance it and spread it around to a bunch of different guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, when you have a statistical output like we did this past week, I mean, it's definitely a nosedive in the statistical realm, and you're under definitely scrutiny for it. But yeah, the design of the offense is you do want to get the ball distributed because the defense can double 2 your perimeter players on every play if they wanted to. So, but we also got to be cognizant of the talents of your players, and continue to try to get the ball in certain guys' hands. So, but yeah, the ability to spread the ball around has always been a big part of this offense.
Talking with head coach Mike McCarthy here on 105.3 The Fan. Coach, CeeDee Lamb appeared really, really frustrated throughout the game on Sunday on the sideline, just looked very upset. How would you describe, and I know you talked about his mood this week, and you say, hey, I want him to be pissed off with how things have gone. How would you describe the difference, though, between being, a healthy, competitive frustration and something that's more counterproductive and bitter? What's that line?
Well, I think the first part, it's just pure mathematics. When you look at the output, as far as the numbers, there wasn't anybody was happy. The O-line wasn't happy. They didn't get enough, they didn't get enough runs. Running backs didn't get enough touches. Receivers didn't get enough touches. So that's really a result of, that type of football game. But, CeeDee is a passionate, young, talented player that, knows he can make an impact, and that's really what that's all about.
Mike McCarthy here on The Fan. Coach, you're going up against your former coordinator in Kellen Moore on Monday night. Is LA's offense basically the same as what y'all had when Kellen was here with the Cowboys?
Well, no, I think clearly, there was a system in place, and my understanding is they may have kept some of the language the same for their offensive players. But yeah, he's definitely running some familiar concepts, but he's gone a different direction too. I mean, it's he's got players that he's tailoring, his schemes too. But yeah, there's some similarities.
Are you able to catch up with him at all these days? How I know you got your stuff going on, but how's your relationship with Kellen these days?
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, we haven't texted in a while, but everything's good.
Coach, defensively, what are some of the major corrections you've wanted to address? J-Ron Curse and the fellows saying, look, we know who we are. We had a bad game. What are some of the main defensive principles you wanted to get cleaned up this week?
Well, I think as a football team, and so it goes all the way through, is our pre-snap penalties. I think that's clearly something that we need to dissolve, quickly. It's been, we've had way too many throughout all 5 games. So I think that starts with all of us, and that's a major emphasis for us. But I think that the thing defensively is we still tackle very well, and we had the one takeaway. So we're just because of the way we play and the type of players we have, that's the offense that we're competing against is always under stress of getting the ball taken away from them. So just to continue to build off of that. But, we're going to talk about this every week. It's going to start with the run defense. That's the way people are going to try to attack us, and because of our strength in the pass rush and takeaway ability.
Last one here for you, Coach. There was obviously a big emphasis this offseason on reducing Dak's interceptions. How do you push that emphasis, push that point, while also making sure that he doesn't go too far in the other direction and he's not playing tight?
Well, it's a good point. It's important not to, it's important to learn from the last game. Don't let it affect the next game. So, and there's a fine line between that. So he needs to still play aggressive, working through his progressions, activate the scramble drill when it's done. So, we don't want him to pull back at all, because, any hesitation is just not going to work in this league.
Now, Bobby, I want you to listen closely. Turn your headphones
3
up.
alarms.
I'm turning
Coach,
my headphones
1,
up.
2, or 3 alarms for Bobby?
2 to 3. Definitely
2 to 3.
2 or 3, yeah.
2, 3. How many minutes apart each alarm?
15.
15.
15.
Okay.
And what should his punishment be?
Oh, God.
That's a better question.
Yeah,
What should
what
the
is the
punishment be?
Yeah, I'm going to stay out of the human resources department there. So you're on your own.
Coach, thank you so much for the time as always. Can't wait to watch you on Monday night. Good luck.
All right, thank you.